Hi, welcome to another edition of the Firefighters Commute, where we hope to mentor you on your firefighting travels. You're with Captain Dave and Engineer Lisa.
With the second portion being the application, you better understand that is when the process of scoring and accumulating points begins. And I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information that's it's going to put you above the competition right here. Is get really good at handwriting the application, because wouldn't you agree that if you see somebody who's handwritten document seems to create a bias in the sense that they have a level of intelligence that you go, oh, you have really good handwriting, and you give them some sort of a weight. Right?
Absolutely. Well, if you're writing in sloppy cursive, does that mean that your car is disheveled, your bed's not made, and your clothes are wrinkled? Or if you're writing in all caps, does that mean that you're a paramedic and you take this seriously, that you have a new style of writing that's very militaristic and regimented, which can ensue that you're a good documenter? And you can overlook into these things. Generally, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but when you're testing, you're being judged on all aspects, so you need to shine with a good front, for sure.
You're testing against humans with humans grading you. So the point of it being you tap into that human bias, and you don't have to engage in a relationship
without even
somebody.
Knowing you're tapping into it. You're totally tapping into it, because before you said that, I was thinking, well, there's two ways to get things done. You're either going to type it out or you're going to handwrite it, and I handwrite a lot of things. I don't feel personally that it's been a detriment to me, but now that you're talking about things that you may not think about, the unnoticed bias. And that's exactly what that is. So, hey, maybe I've missed opportunities because of my handwriting. Dave, I'm glad you pointed that today.
There's tons of cognitive biases, is what Charlie Munger, who's the business partner of Warren Buffett, he wrote this book, and he lines out the common cognitive biases that we're going to experience as humans and with humans. And once you start to understand that whatever you tend to like, you love, whatever you dislike, you tend to hate, and whatever you have an association, it tends to bring about some sort of an enchanted power. So we have these things that we walk around with, and as soon as you can pull yourself out of going, oh, I'm just following along in some sort of pre-dug trench, and I can see the outcome just by adhering to these same biases. So if
you're looking to get hired, you need to mirror what they're doing, because then they'll like you and love you, right?
Tony Robbins says that your first order of business is to mirror somebody's behavior. And so if you look at Tony Robbins and a lot of his one-on-one interactions, he's an amazing individual.
I just read his biography. It just popped up, and I just quickly glanced through it. That's funny.
That's awesome,
that, yeah.
But you see him doing a lot of mirroring, because one of the things that humans really respond well to is this reciprocity bias.
I'm copying your manner.
Oh,
that's
you
didn't
cool.
even know what to say.
Cool.
You just were like, hey, she's cool. Yeah. Like, wait, she's copying me. I'm cool, so she's cool. So, yeah, I totally agree with you there. So I think it's really good to start suggesting. I didn't want to finish your thought, but I'm kind of finishing your thought where you're suggesting to make sure to type it out or write with authority.
All of it.
Representing
all
you?
of the above, because in writing, you have to pick with the application process. You pick out. You're given a finite amount of room to somehow, and most people embellish. That's the thing that they're thinking of. Oh, if you can't market the product, you market the package. And so this is the application is your opportunity to start marketing your package, because
bolster your stats.
On a very superficial approach, you're still being graded. You have to be profiled in
nice
order for
paper.
this document to grant you access to the next step of the process, which is the third thing. And that's the legitimized testing, and that could be an oral, written, assessment center, some sort of a physical ability, and they're all kind of packaged together. Where we're going to break them down in podcasts, but the system, once you see how it's broken down, you can really attack it and become a master at every one of those components.
All right, so can you just label off the big three again?
Okay, so the big three would be on a department that you you should have already had your eyes on it, because it's a big investment.
So if they want you, do you want them? It's a
you
huge
should
investment.
hire your department first.
Correct. I totally agree.
I would look
Is
around
it where
and
you
go,
want to live? Is it the
yes.
community you want to serve? Is it where you want to be known for? Do they have what you're looking for? Do you want to have like an academic, like military, paramilitary department, or do you want something that's not so military but more of like a hands-on feel-good dog and pony? There's so much variety that you can pick and choose what your destiny will be.
And you're getting into a relationship for 20 years, and it could be a raving bitch of a 20 years, or it could be a harmonious environment.
Right.
Now, the place that you're going to is steered a lot by the culture that's within. So, I mean, there's more to it than that. But on the first big three that I would say on a legitimate testing process is, number one, you got to be ready for the job posting. Number two, you have to know about the application, what they're looking for, because you're given a small amount of paper to sell the package. So you should know what they're looking for so that you can put that on paper. So enhancing or building upon your experience as a pianist, or you spent some time as a circus clown, might be interesting, and somebody told you somewhere down the line that, oh, put that shit down, because then they'll go, hey, you were a circus clown? Wow, let's talk about that. And you really, no, that shit doesn't fly. The document grades your ability to follow simple directions.
I totally agree. So let them eliminate you, but don't eliminate yourself by not complying with all of the requirements.
The application
don't miss your
is not
driver's
the place
license.
to get
Don't
creative.
miss your paramedic card or your EMT. Like, get all your certs in there and attention to detail. I was taking a lateral test, actually, Dave. It's funny you said that. And, big city department, recognized accredited tower I went through. And I was switching to I was testing for another department. I like to test, keep my options open, see where I was at. And I forgot to check the lateral box. So after a rigorous academy of 20 weeks, 3 years on the service in a busy department, I forgot to check the lateral box. They offered me a job, but I'd have to attend a tower again, and that really wasn't for me. But what I had done was failed to follow every single direction, and that was a choice that I had to wear, and I had to stop the application process because I didn't follow it to a T. So don't eliminate yourself. Let them eliminate you and get as far as you can, not on technicalities.